Uh, I believe there is another match at 11:30. So we can see if some of these players are online. And they are. So we're going to go right into the next match here. They've played the first game of their match, but we can watch subsequent games. I'm going to change the stream title. This is also an under 2000 match. I'm glad to see these guys playing because I was the arbiter for their matchup for their group. I would have liked to see rook d8 here to tempo the bishop, but it doesn't matter that much. Oh, uh-oh. This pawn is hanging. It looks like BuenosS can play pawn at g3 to get into these weak dark squares. I'm not sure why he's not doing that. These teams are quite close in rating. The left board, almost identical ratings. The right board, about a 200-point rating difference. BuenosS, I wonder if he's having internet connectivity questions, internet connectivity issues, because the moves here seem pretty obvious. It looks like he pushed h5, h6, and if you're going to play that opening, then it's really natural to play pawn at g3. That's the whole point of pushing these. So, not sure what he's thinking about. Most likely internet connectivity issue. So the top teams seem to be both from, is that Ukraine? Yeah, 2 people from the Ukraine on the top. 2 people from France on the bottom. So I'm not sure if they know each other and have teamed up, or if they entered unpartnered and we partnered them together because they happen to be from the same country. He's finally taken the hanging pawn. What is this? This is a terrible move. He put a new pawn on h5, which does nothing, and also hangs this pawn on h4. And now he's dead, as he's let this sack happen. And they each have a million pieces in hand. Bishop check, followed by queen in. It's going to be checkmate. I mean, I guess you could go here, but it's going to be checkmate real soon. I'm not sure what N-MM44 is thinking about. Oh my god, he didn't check. Knight takes is okay. That at least saves him. King takes, not great, but maybe he lives. Knight takes queen for sure. And BuenosS has an attack now. I mean, he legitimately could win this. Yeah, pawn check. Oh, and his partner also has a win. He just needs to win 1 pawn. But the time differential is huge. So N-MM44 should just not move. Queen check. I'm not sure why he just hung his queen for that knight. Not recommended. This is a very interesting position, though. I'm gonna try to promote the pawn, I guess. This is some chess technique here. But yeah, Wow. Very cool. He's going to be able to promote the pawn. But he has run out of time. This was a roller coaster of a game. Our score right now is 2-0, favoring Guh2005 and N-MM44. So it's actually the lower rated team that has been winning here. It takes advantage of the queen move here, but Guh2005 is going to have to develop some of these pieces. And it's going to have to worry about getting his queen trapped. We see a sack from BuenosS. So we saw the sack before, but then he didn't follow through correctly. Again, this might have come down to internet troubles before. Yeah, this could definitely be an upset. So wow, we have this whole file that's open. Queen here looks fairly strong, although you can probably run back to c8. Oh, not with that queen. But if king over, we're going to have queen at f7, king up. And then, is this knight going to mate somehow? So queen here is for sure the move, because you want to prevent him from getting to c7. Now we should see some knight checks. Maybe a pawn check. Oh, he's getting this queen in. Even better. There's the pawn check. It's good technique by BuenosS. So knight out if he goes to one of these light squares, which he has to. Does that mate? It's not quite mate. Knight out. Here, you can actually... What can this knight do? I mean, it can reveal a check. Could potentially have bishop takes bishop to threaten knight here check. So the bottom team is down by about 40 seconds. Top team has a maiden attack. But do they know about stalling? Because stalling can be important to get the match done with here. On the other hand, I don't think Oleksandr7chess is going to be able to checkmate, even if they keep playing this as a chess game. Especially with these 3 pawns that Guh2005 has. No, I should say the reverse. So Guh2005 has to win the game because his partner is essentially mated. So, okay. Bringing the knight in. Knight takes queen is reasonable. Now knight takes queen with discovery. Queen might help his partner. What? Oh, okay, pawn check. That king is a runner. You see, I like knight takes queen rather than knight takes bishop, but bishop here is mate. That's also mate. Okay, so our score right now, I believe, is 2-1. We have a close match here. So yeah, Black likes playing this sequence. What he really wants is pawns to drop. Pawn at g3 is the key move here. Pushing h3 was not a good idea because it creates this weakness on g3. Even if the weakness wasn't created, there's an idea of pawn at g3 if pawn takes, you're threatening this, hang your rook and go all out on the attack. So with high flow, this can be effective for black. I'll take that pawn. And now you want to get more pieces involved. So you could push this pawn twice. You could try to get this bishop out. Okay, he is going to sack. The idea is the king can't go down to these places because the rook will get in. Oh, he has mate. Knight check, followed by pawn check is mate. Knight at g3 is the move. Did not find it. But he is still forking, winning some material. So not the end of the world. So now a knight is going to mate. Guh is up about 5 seconds. Oh, bishop takes bishop is the move here. Because if knight takes queen, this knight checkmates. But I don't think they're communicating. Because if they were communicating, it would have happened. Now that's just a free bishop. So N-MM44 is going to get to defend here. We're probably going to see this check. Knight at g7 could be good. To check the king, probably deflect this knight out, get the pawn involved. I like knight at g7. BuenosS is going to keep attacking. Part of the problem though is like he has had some heroic knights come in, but a lot of these pieces aren't really involved in the attack. And you want to try to get all of your pieces involved in the attack if you can. Knight takes pawn is going to lead to mate. Pawn mates. Even if he doesn't get the pawn, he has knight takes pawn, then knight back. Or knight here, knight back. So black has at worst the perpetual. And he could try rook in, but I think just knight back is the move. So at this point, a knight mates, the bishop mates, and that's a win. I think we're all tied up now. Our score is now 2-2. And we see this aggressive attack that BuenosS likes. Again, h3 is a huge mistake. It just makes it much easier to attack. g3 super weak. So as soon as a pawn trades, we're going to see pawn at g3. There it is. And it's hard to defend. The best way for N-MM44 to defend is just to play fast. The faster he plays, the less pieces BuenosS is going to have to put in here. And eventually he can just get his king to safer squares and shore up this area. But as long as he plays slowly, BuenosS is going to continue to get all the pieces he wants. Take this for sure. It looks like he favors new knight in here, which I don't think is great, but it's what we've seen. Now a pawn plus a knight would win, but that's a tall order at this point. Okay, take that way. You could just retreat this bishop. Oh, okay, he's trying to get the knight because the knight mates. That's a clever move. Did he notice? And knight over. Bishop back now, can attack the knight. So he can win the queen, or he could continue the attack. He's just going to win the queen. Get in this knight involved. That's great. I would take this rook. Yep, that's the way to do it. You can take the rook. Oh, I would have taken the rook and then you threaten pawn in. He's going to take the pawns on both sides instead. The problem is this rook file might become dangerous at some point. Okay, if he could get a pawn and a knight, that would be quite good. Okay, he's bringing the knight to this square. I thought pawn check and then new knight in was going to be good. This is really scary. He really should tell his partner to sit and then take the bishop. He tells his partner to sit, takes the bishop. There's no pawn to drop. If pawn takes, he could threaten check, then discovered attack, discovered double attack. This is just a huge threat. I don't think BuenosS realizes how big that threat is. Guh2005 is not looking great over here. This king is super weak. Okay, so now a knight would checkmate. And the question is, can they get a knight? Oh, he could have just taken this knight, which was mate immediately. This knight is running out of places to go. Oh, that rook's going to mate. So they went for mate on the other board instead. So good coordination. Our score right now is 3-2. Finally favoring the higher rated team of BuenosS and Oleksandr7chess. So Guh2005 is playing snug here, developing pieces, which seems good in general. BuenosS with both white and black is doing this H-pawn attack, and N-MM44 keeps pushing his H-pawn up 1, which again creates a weakness on either G6 or G3. So BuenosS is getting these monster attacks every game. Hey Grind, how far am I going to do Twitch prediction betting? That's a good question. My mods can set up predictions if they want. I guess 4Player Chess is in the chat. If he wants to set up a prediction, he can. I think I was going to do predictions more for the elimination stage. If you remind me like at the start of a match, I can try to do it for like any match. But it takes a little bit of time to set up the prediction. So I hadn't even thought of the predictions, but thank you for reminding me. So we could see this queen trade, but I think the queen trade is going to benefit BuenosS more. Okay, they are doing the queen trade. The rooks are trading. As far as pieces are concerned, Guh2005 is up 2 pieces. And he also has the safer king. Time is fairly close. Whoa, did he just sack a knight for a pawn? Or were those knights? Maybe I missed that. So I think BuenosS is a little confused of what to do when his attack fizzles. Like his whole game is based around this one little attack. And if his opponent is able to defend it, I think he's confused, moves a little slower. Okay, now that attack is on again. Here comes the pawn coming in. Guh2005 has just won another piece. If you could get some pawns, like pawn at d7 could be an idea. Here it might be a good idea to, yeah, I like this. Try to get the bishop out. Also, threatening this diagonal. I like bishop here over the king diagonal, also attack the pawn. Bishop here isn't quite as good now because this isn't a great... Oh, but he's letting him take the pawn. That's helpful. Okay, there's going to be mate on the BuenosS board. And BuenosS is up time, about 25 seconds. Queen at f7 is mate. Hey, great, Keith. How are you doing? Hoping you're doing well. We do have a prediction on. And this is a reasonable prediction, especially since... wait, I hope... How much time was given for the prediction? I hope it was a short time frame. Because this match is going by quickly. Our score right now is 4-2, favoring the higher rated team of BuenosS and Oleksandr7chess. But we do see some channel points coming in already. Oh, 2 minutes. Okay, that's reasonable. So get your predictions in. Someone's already bet 1,000 channel points. If it were me, by the way, I would slip in there with 1 channel point on the other side with a 1 to 1,000 odds. There's just great ways to exploit the odds in prediction markets. We hope to see a bunch of you predicting. PKR, you can win some. Oh, smother mate. You can win some channel points, PKR. So the higher rated team is now running away more with the match. Our score is now 5-2, favoring BuenosS and Oleksandr7chess. 5-2. And remember, this is the under 2,000 section. So it is best of 14, which means the first 8 games with a win by 2 condition. So this match could potentially be over in just 3 more games. Yeah, GMB MW, we've seen H4, H5 every game from BuenosS, and similarly, H5, H4 when he's black. This attack is his whole game. Finally, his opponent has learned not to play H6, which is an improvement, but still, this is a struggling king right here. In this case, a pawn is better than a bishop. Well, I guess you can use the bishop now, but okay. Yeah, no, the great move, knight takes. So a pawn is better because then you can support knight at g8. So BuenosS might wait for a pawn, or you might just stick the bishop in. For me, I would wait for the pawn. Okay, he's just going to try to win the rook instead. But this king is going to be able to escape now. Oh, pawn takes. Now we could go after this diagonal here, like bishop at h3, for example. Okay, he's going to develop another piece instead. Give this king some more luft. Okay, we might have knight sack and then followed by bishop at d6. Probably what we're going to see. Here's the knight sack, bishop at d6, and the queen. At the end of the sequence, this bishop's going to land here, protecting the king a little, but material has been picked up by BuenosS. At this point, he might be thinking about promoting this pawn. Not quite time for that yet. Okay, he's going to get this knight back into action. Oh, knight at could be good. Pick up the rook. Keep the attack going for Guh2005. But Guh2005 only has diagonals at his disposal. This is a great move. Defends and attacks at the same time. I kind of like maybe pawn at g3 for N-MM44. Try to get in on f2. I like pawn at f6 or Guh2005 because he always has the resource of Rook to d8. Oh, he's doing that first. I think he could play bishop check and then take the rook. Okay, he's going to try to do this diagonal. We could do bishop check here. We could either trade the rooks, or we could play bishop check, knight takes, pawn takes, king takes, pawn in. I do not like sacking the bishop for the pawn. That's just a waste of a move. That bishop should have just stayed there. It was good as a defensive piece, and it could, and black would lose initiative by taking. Oh, that was definitely a mistake. Pawn or bishop on f6. Going to be pretty deadly. Yeah, bishop probably better. Actually, pawn was probably better because so he could have saved the bishop for back on g8. That I do not like. Maybe it'll work out. Rook check. Rook check. Don't like that. Oh, maybe it works actually. Pawn checkmate. Yeah, king kind of went the wrong way there. But that is another win for the lower rated team. So Guh2005 did a great job attacking. Our score right now is, I believe, a 5-3, favoring BuenosS and Oleksandr7chess. So let's see what's going on with the prediction. what I thought would happen happened. It looked like there's 1,000 points wagered on the higher rated team, who is ahead in the match right now, and there is 1 point wagered on the lower rated team. Hey, I care. Thanks for watching. Hey, Swole19. We're watching an under 2,000 match. And first of all, it's very close match. Each of the matches are close, which is very interesting. The other interesting thing about this is that BuenosS favors this relatively unusual opening of marching the h-pawn. I mean, I definitely see some players who prefer this, but it's not very common. So the idea is to get a pawn at g6 attack eventually. White is just owning the light squares here. He is going to need a blocker. Oh, I don't like that. Now a pawn effectively wins the queen. Pawn, because if king up, then knight here is mate. So pawn have to sack the queen. Oh, I guess he wasn't up enough time to wait for the pawn. I don't like this. BuenosS still is not defending. Pawn still rocks his world. I don't like that either. Now a pawn mates for BuenosS, and he already has a bishop. So, every move was a screw up. The last 5 moves from both BuenosS and N-MM44. They both should have been. So the person who should have been defending was attacking. The person who should have been attacking was defending. That ended interestingly. So our score is now 6-3, favoring BuenosS and Oleksandr7chess. Yeah, that's funny for player chess. BuenosS would like some diagonals, either a bishop or some pawns. A pawn is quite strong. Pawn check, followed by knight check if he goes here. If rook takes, pawn check, no, pawn takes, and then can threaten promotion. But rather than waiting for a pawn, he's chosen to keep developing. Unfortunately, it's going to take him another pawn to sack here. The defensive pawn at h7. The other thing that N-MM44 might want to consider is something like queen e8 or queen f8 to give the king some walk-in room and another defender on f7. So when you're attacking, one of the things you should be looking to do, I think you take this for sure, one of the things you should be looking to do is attack the square that your king is on. Oh, that king is getting adventurous. Like a bishop would have just won immediately. I guess the bishop wasn't necessarily forthcoming now. BuenosS is up about 6 seconds. And again, he wants either a bishop or a couple pawns. There's a pawn. Now we're going to see a knight check. If rook takes, pawn takes, threatening promotion. And because BuenosS always has this super aggressive h-pawn attack, his board is where all the action is. So yeah, it's hard to stop this promotion. You really need like a rook here, or at least something in here. Queen is promoted. Now a pawn for h7 can be quite good, or a knight for h7. Finally, this bishop is defending this diagonal, but at the time it's doing that, it's not the relevant diagonal. h7 is the important square. BuenosS is going to try to buy some time. Ooh, I do not like queen up. Doesn't seem to have much of a point to that move. I thought h7 was a great square for a pawn or a knight. So this, he's trying to play queen takes knight, but king up would be the way to do it. Oh, now he gets the knight. Ooh, don't necessarily like that. You could play queen takes queen or bishop takes bishop. Okay, I think BuenosS is trying to trade for his partner at this point. Oh, some other mate was missed. Oh, but queen takes. So Guh2005 would have mate with a queen at this point. I guess it's a good thing that his partner didn't trade the queens in retrospect. So our score right now is 7-3, favoring the higher rated team, BuenosS and Oleksandr7chess. This may be match point. Guh2005 maybe going for a sack attack here. And as usual, BuenosS has played h4, h5. Gonna play pawn to g6. And we're gonna see this attack. And he would like more pawns. Gonna use his bishop. Interesting. Don't think this is a great idea. And eat that for now. Queen check. So now if he goes here, a pawn will mate. If he goes here, a knight will mate. And let's look at the time. BuenosS is up time. And a knight mates for him. His partner also has a great position. So probably trying to sneak a knight to win here. Oh, he's going to use his existing knight. Oh, this is a great move. You can potentially take that if takes here. Gonna get his queen back into action. Ooh, I don't like this move. I think he did great to put the queen here, but then a pawn check would have been great, or a knight in would have been great. Instead, he took a pawn. I guess he was taking that for his partner. And Oleksandr7chess does indeed have a good position too. Yeah, I like this rook move. You need knight takes, because if king up, queen check is probably going to be game over. We can push the pawn and threaten this. Okay, he's going to sack his bishop. Don't think that was a great idea. I still think the pawn push is good for the discovered double check. BuenosS really relentless with his attack. N-MM44 has been doing a decent job defending. You need to get out of this pin. Ooh, that is not the move. Now the queen is going to come and is going to mate the partner. Knight takes queen. It should be game over. Oh, he's getting greedy. Now you can repeat and take the queen. You definitely take the queen here. Not sure what he's even thinking about. Maybe he thinks his partner doesn't even need the queen. Pawn takes, queen in or here is mate. That is match point. Our score is 8-3. Let me put that in the chat.